Welcome to Saniflo SFA Group. This is a troubleshooting quick guide covering the Sanicubic 1 lifting station. The troubleshooting guide will provide some symptoms and possible causes along with the remedies that we might be able to suggest to you. It is important to note that the Sanicubic 1 lifting station is susceptible to blockages of the blades and the grinder assembly, the impellers and the discharge lines. Pressure activation tubes can also be affected by blockages from grease, fats, toilet paper, etc. Sanicubic 1 lifting stations can also be affected by poor installation or other usage issues. This troubleshooting guide is also available as a PDF on the plumber portal where you access this guide. And if you can't find your issues here, please call the technical hotline. The numbers will be shown at the end of the presentation, or you can also submit a warranty or a service request from the plumber portal. We start off by saying that the Sanicubic 1 has a single motor and we need to clarify that it is still working. This can be done by pressing the motor override button on the main control panel. If you find that the motor does not activate, there's no noise, it's quite possible that there is an electrical supply fault. It may have had a power disruption and this is causing the yellow indicator light on the control panel to be flashing. Check the motor, check the power point, fuse and circuit breaker. Press that motor override button for 4 seconds and this will reset the fault indication and stabilise that power light. It's possible the motor may have gone into a thermal shutdown. It's overheated, and when it does that, it just goes into a shutdown mode. So feel the top of the motor as an indicator for heat. If you find it there, then it's quite possible it's gone into a thermal overload. Motor will automatically try to restart after about 45 to 60 minutes, but it's important to look for the origin of the overheating. Possible blockages in pump lines could be a cause. You may find that you have blocked pressure tubes due to possible buildup of fat, grease, excessive toilet paper, or you may have a faulty pressure switch. If the red fault indicator is flashing on the control panel, this is possibly where the fault may lie. Remove and clear the pressure tubes, check and replace the pressure switch if needed, or you can call the Saniflo technical for further assistance. You might find that the motor is humming but does not actually run or activate. So generally find here that the cutter assemblies, the grinder section, may have been jammed. It could have been blocked by a foreign object. Remove the blockage from any of those cutter assemblies, but also check the impellers for any residual foreign matter. The pump cover may be misaligned, the impeller could be loose, or you have a failed capacitor. Check the correct mounting of the pump cover and the impeller. Test and replace the capacitor. There's also a possibility you may have motor windings failure. If this is the case, an electrician will need to test those windings and replace the motor if necessary. If the motor is running continuously, it could be that the discharge pipe is blocked. So clear that discharge line and make sure everything's opened up. Could be a hydraulic problem, so discharge pipe clogged, the pump body or the impeller may be loose. Check all of those, the discharge line, the pump body and the impeller. It could be that the height or the length of the pump line is over our specifications or has too many bends or elbows in through there. So check the installation against the manufacturer's installation guide. The integral non-return valve, the NRV, could be blocked, it could be faulty or damaged. So clean and check this, replace it if necessary. You may also have a defective control board, and if that's the case, you'll need to contact the Saniflo technical department. The motor activates intermittently. It could be that the fixtures that are connected to the pump are running or leaking, therefore keeping the water level raised even though you may think you're not using any of the fixtures. So check and if needed, repair those fixtures connected to the pump. The NRV could be blocked, faulty or damaged. This is keeping the water running back into the pump, making it activate without actually clearing anything. So clean and check the NRV, replace it if necessary. Once again, a defective control board may be your issue, and if that is the case, consult the Saniflo technical department. If you have a very bad or slow evacuation, it's possible that the vent hole is clogged, or that you have an AAV installed on the vent connection. Clean the vent line, make sure there's nothing in there that's causing any issues. If you do have an AAV, you need to have it removed. It needs to be replaced with a two-way carbon block filter, or it needs to be vented through to atmosphere. You may find that you have an impeller or a pump cover plate faulty, or the discharge line is pinched. Check each of those, the impeller, the pump cover plate, and that discharge line. You may have a partially blocked drainage or fixture line or a sink trap. If this is the case, check those drain lines, check the traps and clear any of the blockages. The length or the height of the installation, once again, is over the specification or has too many bends or elbows. Check the installation against the manufacturer's installation guides and rectify. If you have a backflow of water running back up through to the fixture or the appliance, it's possible that the fixture or the appliance is too close to the activation level of the pump. As a guide, we recommend that the base of the pump must be a minimum of 275 millimeters below the lowest fixture. In this instance, you would raise your fixture or you would lower the pump. If you have a bad smell, it could be that the pump is not vented through to atmosphere. So you either need to vent it through to atmosphere or install a two-way carbon block filter, allowing the pump to breathe, such as a plastic eco vent or a Studer maxi filter. We are looking here at the alarms on our pumps. So a flashing red alarm, an LED, generally indicates that there's a water level detection issue. So clear the activation tubes, replace the pressure switch if faulty, or call the Saniflo technical department. If you have a steady red alarm, there's any number of issues through here. It could be a blocked vent line, the AAV could be installed, you have a blocked pump line, the motor may be jammed or failed, discharge line is beyond the specifications, or you have a faulty control board. So a series of things to check through here. So make sure you have a clear vent line. If there's an AAV on that pump, on that vent line, remove it and replace with a carbon block filter or vent it through to atmosphere. Check the cutter assemblies for blockages and the impellers for any residual matter. Check the discharge line against the installation instructions. And if all else fails, contact the Saniflo technical department. If you have a flashing yellow alarm, this could mean that you have a mains failure or you've had a power disruption. So check the power point, the fuse and the circuit breaker, press that motor override button for 4 seconds and this will reset that fault indication and it will stabilize that power light. And once again, if all else fails, contact the Saniflo technical department. The SFA group invented the small bore macerator in 1958 in France. All of our products are still manufactured in France, and all of the products that we bring into Australia and New Zealand have full watermark approval and are available through reputable plumbing supply outlets in Australia and New Zealand. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to call the Saniflo head office in Australia or in New Zealand. Thank you.